We're back with my friends. I'm Tina Trenner, Anthony Barney, Larry Harrison, the insurance expert, Anthony, the wonderful attorney who's always so measured and he's always got something wonderful to say. Okay, we're talking about forced insurance by the government. And of course, I've been opposed to that for a long time. I guess I'm kind of free spirit at heart. You know, I don't want the government telling me what to do. I'm a true American. So tell me, you were saying something during the break about car insurance. There's less uninsured car. Go ahead.
Okay.
Explain yourself, dude.
Okay, here we go. It's mandated that everybody has automobile insurance. If you're going to drive a car, you have to have automobile insurance.
Right.
There's around about 20-25% of people driving around today in your neighborhood and mine have auto insurance, even though it's mandated. When we talk about 40-some million people uninsured, when you do the math, it pencils out that there is fewer percentage of people without health insurance, without it being mandated, than there are people driving cars.
Let's talk about the cost because, Anthony, tell me what you had some information about the cost and Obama's like his sleight of hand, his da-da-da-da-da-da-ba-ba-ba. Explain what he was up to.
Well, the concern that many people have with regard to this mammoth health bill is the cost. The cost being the key issue. When you look at the amount of money that it requires to administer just the Medicaid arm of insurance that we already have that's mandated, that helps those with less income, the poverty-stricken. When it's turned over to the states, it's administered at about a rate of 20%. Now, the reason that the federal government uses many of the third-party providers is that it reduces their cost of administration. Private insurance typically can be administered once you strip out the taxes for right around 10%. So you can imagine that adding in 10% just in the cost of administration and adding the millions of people that they are attempting to add into the system that we currently have, it's going to overload it. And in fact, some estimates have indicated that we are spending right now just in costs $75 billion just in administration costs
Okay,
that
so
are going to increase.
Answer this. Tell me this. If you can look at this and see it's going to overload the system, why would a rational person be pushing this like in this insane idea? Have you ever read Cloward and Piven?
Well, I think that is an issue that is looked at by many as really the crux of this matter. How can we do this? How can we increase the rolls to this magnitude?
And why should we do this?
And is there any guarantee that, as the administration has indicated, that rates will actually go down? I don't think there's anybody that believes that, because once you put all of those people, those who elect not to have insurance, and force them into the system, the logical response is that you will go and use insurance because it's there.
If this was a good idea, everyone would be voting for it. They can't even get their own party, and they've got a majority. They can't get everybody to vote.
Well, there is a lot of, as Larry said, arm twisting and leg twisting and, essentially contortionist
Well, talk
twisting.
about those numbers that we were talking about. Obama came out and said how this was going to save you money.
Well,
Guy.
the administration has come out and said that there would be savings of anywhere up to 10 to 14% in the government-run health insurance plan. But that is based on CBO estimates that were done prior to the current bill. And that's part of the problem that we discussed last week. What version of the bill are we looking at? And based upon those numbers, you must look at it from the standpoint of, if we have those reductions, it would come essentially from people who are maintaining those insurance plans and having offsetting tax credits. The problem is
What a bunch of baloney.
40% of the people don't qualify for those tax credits at this point.
Well, and Larry, excuse me, but Larry, you're in the insurance biz. Do you see this saving huge amounts of money?
No.
It's
No.
just all a song and dance.
It's not focusing on where the real problems are. As I said last week, and I'm going to say it every week that we have this show, health insurance is expensive because healthcare is expensive. Healthcare is expensive for a lot of different reasons, and we need to focus on the reasons that healthcare is expensive. And it is redundancy of procedures that are being done. It's the rates of pharmaceuticals. When I got into this business 20 years ago, pharmaceutical rates were about 4% of every dollar being spent. Now they're 26%. Why is that? It's not
Why is that?
research and development, advertising. We didn't grow up with advertising of prescriptions being on TV. There's a wonderful book out there called Over-Medicating America.
Duh.
And it really talks about
Yeah.
the unnecessary tests that are being done, where these colleges think that they're doing research and they find out that the research is really being subsidized by pharmaceutical companies, and then they have 12 different results. They throw out 11, they show the 12th one as being positive, and they get these meds in.
Well, and just for a little aside, about 100,000 people a year die from prescription medications.
You know-
I mean, so they're really safe. I mean, they've tested them great.
Well, that's because there's a pill for something. If there were no pill and a person has high blood pressure or high cholesterol, I would think that they would take more responsibility for themselves. But because we make it easy with
Absolutely,
a
just
pill,
pop a
then there's
pill.
no responsibility for themselves to take care of themselves. 50% of medical expenses are brought on by lifestyle choices.
We're coming up on a break, but I just want to ask you before we get there. Seriously, when you're watching television, you're sitting there with your little remote and you're watching TV, and they come on and go, you should ask your doctor if you need this. Do you actually do that? Who's the dumbbell that goes and does that? I mean, is it you? It's not me. I don't want any of their crap. Who is it that asks that question? Hello, wake up. They just want to sell you something. And why would you need it? Why would you need it? Do you know how long we've existed on this planet without that stuff? Oh, God, it just makes me crazy, boys. What can I tell you? We have to take a break, and we'll be back in just a minute.